Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp.
I once had money in a fast Cadillac car, but I made a big mistake. Let my baby know where they are. And she took all my possessions and then she threw me out.
Censorship in the name of inclusion. Of course, that is exactly what we've always wanted. The rewriting of Roald Dahl. Across his beloved children's books, hundreds of the author's words have been changed or entirely removed in a bid for relevance. Yes, because Roald Dahl has a need to try to stay relevant. Who does not know of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, James and the Giant Peach? But please, change what he wrote, because no one seemed to get it before, and it's too offensive. So in the latest editions of Dahl's books, Puffin Books has put this disclaimer on the copyright page that says, "The wonderful words of Roald Dahl can transport you to different worlds and introduce you to the most marvelous characters. This book was written many years ago, and so we regularly review the language to ensure that it can be enjoyed by all today." Fantastic. And I'm sure you must be asking yourself, well, Swamp, surely they would only get rid of things that were just particularly egregious, like, if Dahl's books were just full of the N-word or something. I mean, that's not so bad. I mean, sure, let's get rid of that. Of course that's not what this is about. Oh man, some of these are just fantastic. From The Witches. "Don't be foolish," my grandmother said. "You can't go around pulling the hair of every lady you meet, even if she is wearing gloves. Just you try it and see what happens." So that's the original. Update. "Don't be foolish," my grandmother said. "Besides, there are plenty of other reasons why women might wear wigs, and there is certainly nothing wrong with that." Wow. I feel the inclusion. "Even if she is working as a cashier in a supermarket or typing letters for a businessman." So that was the one, that was the old one. And then now it says, "even if she is working as a top scientist or running a business." Wow. Glass ceiling shattered. Amazing work. From the original Matilda, it says, "She went on olden day sailing ships with Joseph Conrad. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway and to India with Rudyard Kipling." Updated version. "She went to 19th century estates with Jane Austen. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway." I guess that one's still okay. "And California with John Steinbeck." Wow. This is, I can feel the years of offensiveness that I've had to deal with from these books just melting away. This is great. But don't worry. If you're asking yourself, wow, did they change Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at least? Because that has got to be one of the most offensive books I've ever read. The answer is yes. They have finally fixed Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's about time. "Like all extremely old people, he was delicate and weak" has been changed to "like most extremely old people, he was delicate and weak." Just most, because it's offensive to say all. We can't just say, what do you mean, you people? "Tell Charlie about that crazy Indian prince," said Grandma Josephine. Change to, "Tell Charlie about that ridiculously rich Indian prince." I'm just not sure. I guess it's a compliment, so it's not bad. The ridiculous rich Indian prince. I mean, all I can think of is, well, look at this ridiculous rich Nigerian prince. I got an email from him. No, these are better. "You mean Prince Pondicherry?" said Grandpa Joe, and he began chuckling with laughter. "Completely dotty," said Grandpa George. "But very rich," said Grandma Georgina. And luckily, we changed it to, "You mean Prince Pudicherry?" said Grandpa Joe, and he began chuckling with laughter. So at least we got rid of the highly offensive, completely dotty, and we got rid of "but very rich," because I guess in this context, "but very rich" is inappropriate, whereas before they changed "crazy Indian prince" to say "ridiculously rich Indian prince." So I'm not sure what the rules are. And they changed the spelling because apparently sometime after this book was written, the name of the city or something that, I don't know anything about India, but I read this somewhere, that the name of the city or the town or whatever that this comes from, they changed the spelling of it sometime after the book was made. So at least we're going back and fixing that, because that is a travesty. And here's some of my favorites, because apparently Roald Dahl liked to make fun of fat people, which back in the day that just used to be called classic comedy. Now you can't do that. So here we go. A 9-year-old boy who was so enormously fat he looked as though he had been blown up with a powerful pump. Changed to, a 9-year-old boy who was so enormous he looked as though he'd been blown up with a powerful pump. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, you have to get rid of the word fat, I guess. And now it's no longer offensive. It just says enormous instead of fat. Great flabby folds of fat bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a monstrous ball of dough. Classic. I can respect it. It's hilarious. Updated to, great folds bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a ball of dough. Again, I guess it's not offensive when you take out the word flabby. So you can't say great flabby folds of fat, but great folds bulged out is fine. So flabby and fat, these are bad. These are the new F words, so you better not be saying these anymore. And moving on to James and the Giant Peach, which was always one of my favorites. I can't wait to see how they make this better. I'm sure this is going to totally fix it. Queer Ramshackle House was changed to Strange Ramshackle House. That's what queer means. Okay, I guess we're just synonyms. We'll just go with that. Aunt Sponge was enormously fat and very short. We changed that to Aunt Sponge was quite large and very short. See, we're getting rid of those F words, those bad F words like fat and flabby. One of those white flabby faces that looked exactly as though it had been boiled. Changed to a face that looked like a great soggy overboiled cabbage. Well, I mean, at least that one's still kind of funny. I mean, I don't hate that one, but why change it? And of course, one of my favorites is, in another minute, this mammoth fruit was round and large and fat as Aunt Sponge herself, and probably just as heavy. They just removed that one altogether. That one was just beyond the pale. We can't even salvage this line. It's over. Get rid of it. And honorable mention, in Fantastic Mr. Fox, they changed the description of the tractors from saying, the machines were both black. They just cut that out. Apparently, we don't get to know the color of the tractors anymore because it's black. Which seems like black erasure to me, which seems kind of racist. And they also changed Bunce, the little pot-bellied dwarf, is now just plain old Bunce. They could not come up, they had to remove it. They couldn't come up with an appropriate way to say the little pot-bellied dwarf, which is just a fantastic description if you ask me. But of course, this is just typical from these types of people. They can't actually create anything. If they wanted to, they could attempt to write new beloved children's books, but they can't. Whenever they try, it's not good and no one likes it. Only the woke parents buy it. Regular people don't. So this is just classic censorship, rewriting of history. It's the only way that they can actually make a mark on the world because they're not creative. They can they can only destroy what was once good and turn it into absolute garbage. Fantastic. Anyway, my name is Swamp. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, check out the merch, join the Discord, all the YouTube stuff. And of course, leave a comment letting me know that, yeah, well, you know what, Swamp? I would think that you would be glad that they got rid of the line, the little pot-bellied dwarf, yeah, seeing as you are one. No, see, you don't get it. Being that I am one, I'm able to give them the little pot-bellied dwarf pass. Put it back in. I approve it. I'll see you guys next time.